Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, and turn on notifications so that you will receive alerts when there are new episodes. Go get it.
That's what I tell them. I've been grinding for so long, I wake up and chase my goals. I go out and I go get it. How to code, that's all I know. I don't succeed, then I don't breathe. Success, what does it mean? If I conquer all my goals, then I'm living out my dream. Dig deep, go out and get it. Success Chronicles. Compete until it's finished. Success Chronicles. Go take care of your business. Success Chronicles. It's deeper than just winning. Success Chronicles.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Chip Baker coming to you with another episode of the Success Chronicles. Pretty excited about this one. Today we have Denise Franco with us, awesome lady doing some awesome things. So thankful to have her on. So first, thanks so much for taking the time to interview with the Success Chronicles.
Of course. Thank you for having me, Chip. I really appreciate the opportunity.
Good deal. Well, let's dive into it. If you don't mind sharing with the audience, talk to us about who Denise Franco is, and tell us what it is you do.
All right. So my background is I was born and raised not even necessarily here in El Paso, Texas. I actually grew up in Canutillo and Vinton, Texas. So two little cities on the outskirts of El Paso.
Yeah.
Dominantly low income families, some middle income families, but that's where I grew up. I feel like I lived a very typical Canutillo lifestyle. I didn't realize the financial struggle and how hard it was until I got older, and looking back like, oh, we didn't have this and this and this. Now I get it. But I feel like I had a lot of the similar struggles as my friends and my peers. Went to high school. I got pregnant pretty young. I got pregnant I had my daughter when I was 19. And I became a single mom almost instantly within 2 months. But I was always a worker. I always wanted to work. Like the second I turned 16 and I was allowed to work, I wanted to go find a job. Matter of fact, I had a fight with my parents because they were telling me like, no, you don't need a job. Don't go do that. We're not going to take you to work. So you're going to end up getting fired if you start working. And I was like, all right, fine. I'll find a job close by where I can walk to. And that's what I did. I ended up, my first job was at a truck station right down the street. They had a little subway, but anyways, I ended up not staying there too long. Then I went into the restaurant industry, and I had a lot of people that believed in me before I believed in myself. I had a boss that, he saw some type of leadership skills in me, and he promoted me into management very quickly. And so I started climbing up that corporate ladder pretty quick. But I always knew that wasn't exactly what I wanted to do. So once I got to a certain place, the money kept getting better because they kept giving me promotions. I knew I wanted to get out of the restaurant industry. If you've ever worked restaurant industry, you know that hours are long and hard and the pay is not that great.
Yeah.
I always knew that I wanted to do something for myself. So there was a conference that was coming into town, like a traveling conference with real estate. My dad and my uncles, they've always been handymen. Like I've always seen them, building stuff in the backyard or for other people. And so I said, well, let me go to this conference. My thinking at first was like, let me do this fix and flip thing. Obviously HGTV, everyone's hooked on these shows like fix and flip. So I was like, maybe we can do that. And I'll have my uncles there as like a support, if I have any questions. I went to this conference, and I think it was what I was looking for. It was just, hey, look, there's options within the real estate community. Here's what you can do. There was this short, kind of goofy looking like white boy he was like a skater slash surfer, and he was telling us about his story, and he said, like, if you could do it, I can do it. And I was just like, you know what, let me try. And so that's when I dove into the real estate industry, and I just haven't looked back since. So now I'm here, licensed realtor for I just celebrated my 5-year anniversary, and I just opened up my own company with my own team. I have a team of 6 now, and I'm just looking to make a good influence in the community and to help out as many people as possible within the industry.
And that is such a cool story of independence and just grind and fight to get it, just to make it. And so it's truly inspiring. But what are 3 things you've accomplished in your life that you're proud of?
That's such a tough question because
So many things right now.
You know what? There's so many, just because there's a lot of thresholds that I've crossed that I didn't think that I was going to be able to. But when I really think about what are 3 things that I've accomplished that I'm really proud of, I would have to say within the real estate space in my career, I genuinely feel like I've helped a lot of people. There have been people that didn't believe that it was possible to buy at all. I'll give you one story that, I always think about this family. I had a family of, it was 2 daughters and a mother. She was a widow. And the daughters were both under 20. I think one was 21, one was 23. And they had lived in housing, in government housing their entire life. And when Dad passed away, the girls were old enough to go out and get a job. And so they started working. And if you know how housing works, it goes based off of your income. So the more these girls worked, the more they were charging them. And obviously at this point, they started kind of thinking like, well, if we're going to get charged that much for housing, maybe we should rent a house and like not live in this area anymore. Right. Somebody referred them to me and pretty much said like, well, maybe you can buy a house. When they came to me, there was no part of them that thought that this was possible. Mom literally told me like, look, I'm just coming to you because I promised my friend that I would come, but there's no part of me that really, like, if you can't do it, it's okay. She pretty much from the very beginning, like, it's okay. When I tell you, like, the day that we closed on their house, Mom was in tears. Like, she was just, it was beyond her that she and her daughters had lived in public housing their entire life. And within 2 months, I was able to get them into a house of their own. That was definitely one of those success stories that I'll always hold in my heart.
That's good stuff.
Yeah, being able to do stuff like that just opened their eyes. And it's not just them now, because now it's their family also. Now they get to show their family within that first week. You know, we had cousins and uncles coming over and seeing the house, and, you know, being able to set that example for generations to come. I've also been able to help realtors get their first deal. You know, becoming a realtor is a scary thing. You go from being an employee to working commission-based only. And so helping realtors, you know, get their first deal and make that smooth transition. Just within my career space, I just feel like I've made a difference in a lot of lives. So that would be one. Second, something that I'm proud of, just like on a personal level, the just my personal growth, the relationships with my family, like my parents and with my daughter, and how they've evolved, and just how much healing has gone on throughout this process. Like, you know, we're speaking on the Success Chronicles, and I think a lot of times we think of success only in the career space, but I think a lot of the success is just personal, and that's a huge thing to me. You know, when I was younger, I didn't have the best relationship with my parents. When my daughter was younger, I spent a lot of time working. I didn't spend a lot of time with her. You know, we didn't have the absolute best relationship, and obviously that's still a work in progress. She's a preteen now, so that's a whole nother story. But just, I think the healing and the relationships that I've been able to, just the growth within my family and those relationships. Okay. And the last thing that I'm proud about is, I think, my spiritual growth. You know, growing up, I guess I didn't mention this before, but you know, we all have our story, and we all have things that we went through. I saw my family struggle a lot with one of my older brothers started using drugs at a very young age, and it made me question my faith at a very young age. I stopped believing in God when I was like 12, and that lasted a few years, like probably up until I was, I don't know, 18, 19. And going through the process of rebuilding myself spiritually, and just having that faith once again in something greater than myself, and being able to speak on it, and hopefully, you know, help others with just the story of it. But that's definitely something that I'm proud of, because, you know, without God, I don't think I would be where I'm at. And being able to get from there to here, if you would have interviewed me, Chip, if you would have interviewed me 15 years ago, this would be a very different story. Yeah. There was no part of me that wanted anything to do with anything spiritually. So that's been a big process. And so I would say that those are the three things that I'm most proud of.
Man, good stuff right there to be proud of. It's always great when you can come from a pure-hearted, pure intention place to help others, which is your first thing. Then you talked about your personal and family growth. You know, we all have to look within to win. And I think when we can do that, it allows us to be the best versions of ourselves, which allows us to be the best versions of ourselves for others, right? Just like you do on a day-to-day basis. And then you talked about the spiritual growth. It's amazing when we can have that spiritual moral compass, you know, that kind of helps us, you know, guides us in the way that we need to be. And, you know, all of those things, when we can do that, I think you have greatness or success. And so let's hit on, I mean, I would consider that to be hugely successful. So let's hit on success. What is your definition of success?
My definition of success is being able to live the life that you want to live, and being at peace while you're doing it.
Live the life that you want to live, and being at peace while you're doing it. I love that. I have a thing too that I say, I think and you know, it goes back to you talking about the things that you're proud of. And I think that inner peace, INNER peace, allows us to enter peace, ENTER. And just hearing you talk, seeing the smile when you talk about those things, you know, it shows that you're at a peaceful place in your life. and it all comes with, you know, doing the work on yourself.
Yeah.
It
Yep.
comes with, you have
100%.
to, yeah,
You said what you said, you have to look within to win. I love that. I'm gonna use that.
feel it.
That's
Yeah.
100% true. Everything comes from within you. You have to
Yeah.
look within in order to win.
Awesome. Good deal. Well, before we get off, if you don't mind sharing with the audience where they can go follow you and check you out and show you some love with all of the amazing things you got going on.
Yeah, of course. So I have my personal Instagram page where I just get a little more personal with the followers. I'll speak a little more on just, I do a lot of self-love stuff on there. That one is at Denise _ Franco, double D and double F. So DDENISE _ FFRANCO. And then I also have at Franco Real Estate, that's going to be on Instagram, and the same on Facebook.
Well, good deal. Again, I just want to say thanks so much for taking the time to interview with the Success Chronicles. Truly appreciate it. And I wish you continued success.
Thank you so much, Chip. I appreciate you having me on today, and appreciate everything that you're doing and spreading the word. And, I wish you nothing but the best, and, looking forward to working with you again soon.
Let's go. All right. Well, thank you. And thank you guys for checking out this episode. We'll see you next time. God bless. Go get it.